Good evening and welcome to the 2023 Commencement Ceremony for North Muskegon High School. It is an incredible honor to be here as the proud mom and principal of the 88th graduating class. We will begin by inviting Bradley Lowe, class president, and Carolyn Bennett, daughters of the American Revolution Award recipient, to lead us with the Pledge of Allegiance. As they are approaching the podium now, please rise.
Should technically be that one, but I'll solve that one. Ready?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Carolyn and Bradley. Guests and graduates, please be seated. Let's start with a special thank you for the following individuals seated with us on stage tonight. Dr. Kurt Babcock, Superintendent of Schools, Mr. John Allen, Elementary Principal, Mr. William Meyer, Board of Education President, Dr. Mary Moulton, Board of Education Vice President, Mrs. Carolyn Nadeau, Board of Education Secretary, Mr. Steve Bliss, Board of Education Treasurer, and Board of Education Trustees, Mrs. Susan Burmeister, Mrs. Lisa Winter, and Mr. Ben Shear. There are a few others that we would like to take a moment to recognize. First, Mrs. Dombrowski and Mrs. Ripstra. We could not do this without you. Not only do you make it look easy, which we all know working with us is not always easy, but you do it with smiles on your faces. Thank you. Also, a special thank you to our junior ushers, Marilyn Gaston, Isabel DeYoung, Olivia Medora, Sophia Lindsay, Evan Atkinson-Miller, Ellie Jensen, Mr. Henderson, and CJ Bennett for rocking it with all of the technology, Emily Winter, Miriam Wilkie-Jones, and Zoe Wiles for helping with the cameras and live streaming, Sean Lane, the North Muskegon City, for all of their work to make this such a beautiful event, to our NM staff for your countless hours and your time and your dedication for getting all of these awesome students to where they are today. A special shout out to Ms. J, Senior Advisor, for all of the work that she's done this week, and to you, our NM families and supporters. Thank you. We would also like to extend our well wishes to Mr. Shanehouse and Mr. Belmani on the next chapter of their lives, retirement. We will miss you, and we appreciate all of the years of service that you've given us at NM. In a minute, we're going to be gifted with hearing some words from some of our fellow Norsemen. Before we begin, Norse Nation, I want you to take a moment. Pause. Breathe. Notice. This is your time. A time to reflect, a time to celebrate, a time to soak it all in. You did it. Let's start by welcoming our first speaker, Mrs. Lisa Winter, Board Trustee and parent of graduating senior Brandon.
Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished faculty, esteemed guests, and most importantly, the resilient and extraordinary class of 2023, it is an absolute honor to stand before you today representing the North Muskegon Board of Education and the administrative team. It does say in your programs that Kurt is supposed to speak after me, but he decided he couldn't follow this, so we're going to skip over that. I'm going to try my best not to ugly cry loudly into the microphone, but I can't promise anything, and at least now you've been warned. Whether the road to your diploma was being top of the class, middle of the pack, or you fought tooth and nail to be here today, everyone in attendance is so proud of you. It's said so often that North Muskegon is a tight-knit community that sometimes we forget what that actually means. This community, whether you knew it or not, has been with you every step of the way. In fact, seniors, look around and find some faces in the crowd. Yes, look at your families, but keep looking at others who have shown you love and support in so many ways over the years. Look for the neighbor who always supported your fundraisers, even when they really didn't want or need cookie dough. Find the mom who always cheered for everyone, the loudest in the stands. To be fair, depending on the sport, that was probably me. See if you can find the person who helped you during POPs rehearsals or who chaperoned all the field trips in elementary. Remember the teacher who always held you to the highest standard since they knew you could do it. Look for your friend's parent who would help with carpool duties or who took you to celebrate something with their family. It truly takes a village to raise a child, and it's a testament to the strength of this village to see how impressive you all have become. I want our exchange students to know that you're one of us too. Norsemen now, Norsemen forever. Whatever comes next for you, whether it's college, military, trade school, going to work, or backpacking across every continent, we all want you to succeed, and we know you can do well at whatever you choose. If at any point you realize your major, job, career field, or whatever isn't where you want to be, it's okay to change your mind. It's okay to ditch accounting or law to go work for a nonprofit. We'll be here to support your new adventure too. Those transitions can be scary, but you're never doing it alone. Truthfully, I'm not all that worried about this group going out into the world. You've shown so much resilience throughout all of the normal high school trials and tribulations before throwing a global pandemic into it. In the face of adversity, you've shown you can be flexible and not just survive, but thrive. We know it wasn't easy, and we are so proud of you. Now, while I have you here and before you officially graduate, we're gonna do one last quick story time with my favorite Shel Silverstein poem, Listen to the Mustn'ts. Listen to the mustn'ts, child, listen to the don'ts. Listen to the shouldn'ts, the impossibles, the won'ts. Listen to the never haves, then listen close to me. Anything can happen, child. Anything can be. Class of 2023, your stories are just beginning. When faced with uncertainty and change, be proud of who you are and what you can offer others. Even when times are hard and you don't know what's coming next, keep moving forward. Sometimes it works out better than you thought it ever could. Sometimes it doesn't. But keep going because life is a beautiful journey and so many wonderful things are waiting for you. No matter where you go on this planet, remember where you came from and how much love and pride we have for you. Watching you all grow has been a privilege. I can't wait to see what you do next. Congratulations, graduates.
Thank you, Mrs. Winter. At this time, we invite our senior orchestra members to join the orchestra and perform I See the Light, directed by Mrs. Angela Corbin. We now welcome the choir to sing In My Life with the orchestra. Thank you, Mrs. Corbin and Mrs. Slimko. Oxford Dictionary defines legacy as this: long-lasting impact, something that somebody has done successfully to create a positive effect long after they're gone. Wow. Does this class ever leave a legacy? Not only with what they have gifted us now, but what they're going to gift us in the future. Just to highlight some of the things that this awesome class plans to do, many of them will enroll in college and universities, trade, career, technical school, some enlisting in the military, some going right into the world of work or missionary, and anticipated career pathways like health sciences, IT, law, education, future careers in biochemistry, biomolecular science, computer engineering, finance, fine arts, prints, political science, education, pharmaceutical engineering, social work, just to name a few. This graduating class of 2023 has earned over $1.5 million, yep, you heard that right, in merit and athletic-based scholarships. Last night at Baccalaureate, Lucy Fricky nailed it when she said this: North Muskegon, small in size, but big in heart. Now you're going to get a glimpse of the heart and the legacy when you get to hear some of our student speakers tonight. It is with great pleasure to introduce our very first speaker, Riley McAvoy, to share some words to her class.
Thank you, Mrs. Schultz. Our class is especially lucky to have you today as we end this journey because you were present when it began. We couldn't be more grateful. It was only 270 days ago that we were on the visitor side of the stadium attending our first day of this year assembly. Mrs. Schultz was hyping us up to begin our final 8-month school year, signifying the beginning to the end of our journey here. It may sound cliche, but time sure does fly. In this very stadium, we've experienced numerous field days with Mrs. B, district victories in multiple sports, and the infamous week of homecoming. Our village of North Muskegon is a powerhouse fueled by everlasting love and support. At times, it may have felt easy to demean our small town and school as insignificant or rather uneventful, but that is because we grew too accustomed to what makes our home so special. First, there are the simple things. If you are fortunate enough to have had Miss Johnson within the first 3 hours of your day, you are blessed to begin your morning with a beautiful Michigan sunrise. The view in Custer Park never disappoints and could definitely make 8 a.m. mornings much more bearable. Then you have the safe haven of Mr. Liverance's room if you're in need of a quick or sometimes long rant. The resources available to us are a hidden treasure, and it will make our year of transitioning a little tougher to get used to. While students at North Muskegon, we are exposed to an extremely unique environment. We are a community in every sense of the word. It may seem like a little thing, but North Muskegon doesn't have a student parking lot. Instead, students park in and walk to school right through our neighborhoods. This provided some interesting experiences, such as digging Jack Gurn's mini GTI out of a pile of snow. For me, this reflects just how intertwined and how important the relationship of our school is to the community. Having elementary, middle, and high school in a single building allowed us to interact regularly with students of all ages and to learn the names of most everyone in the school. This regular interaction fostered the sense of community we have at North Muskegon. As I reflect on my 12 years at North Muskegon, the lessons and ideals that I have gained all stem from the community in which I was raised in. They were taught and demonstrated by everyone who was a part of North Muskegon: teachers, administrators, coaches, staffs, and our parents. It began in kindergarten with Mrs. Schultz, continued into middle school, and continues through today. We were inspired to achieve and pursue our individual interests and dreams, while at the same time nurtured and challenged to become productive, responsible, and caring members of our little community. For example, I learned to look for and embrace the good in everyone. For me, Mrs. Simcoe is a master at this. As you all know, I spent a lot of my time with her. We had many talks. She just gets it. She taught me the importance of accepting someone for who they are and then being present for them. Doing this has allowed me to make deeper connections with a variety of people. That is something I will miss dearly. With this caring community being all we've known for most of our lives, it is crucial we pass it on to maintain a strong foundation, both for ourselves and our children who will follow. We've had this idea blindly instilled in us since we were young. From raising crickets with Mr. Jarvis in 6th grade science, to hosting several community cleanups with the cherished Environmental Club, we have been endlessly encouraged to participate in and support our community. As we enter a new world, we have to channel the presence of our hometown that we have grown to love. I hope our graduating class truly appreciates the value of the lesson we were taught. The best way for us to show our gratitude is to carry forward the sense of caring and community we have learned and experienced at North Muskegon and make it our gift to the world. We have been given the tools to become successful adults who can have positive impacts in whatever communities we become part of in the future, college, work, or even family. It is now our challenge to lead a life that reflects what we have learned here. One day, we may well be the parents sitting here today watching our children graduate. I hope we will be able to proudly say we did our part to keep the North Muskegon tradition alive and well. My personal goal next year is to bring the energetic and caring spirit of NM with me to Ann Arbor. If there are times when I feel small and insignificant in a community much larger than the one in which I was raised, I will remember and be guided by the lessons I learned in this little place. That we all are part of a community and each member can make a difference. As we confirmed last night at Baccalaureate, we are blessed to have been raised in a tight-knit community. For most of us, we've attended North Muskegon Public Schools for the last 12 years, and if not, it probably feels like you have. It's truthfully the little things that make NM so special. As we close this chapter in our lives, a brand new one is beginning immediately. It is hard to imagine the absence of Mr. Shanehalls dogging on disruptive middle schoolers and the celebrity status that comes with being a senior in the 2x4 hallways of North Muskegon. Maybe being a big fish in a small pond is underrated. I would like to leave my classmates with this thought. Some of you may be familiar with Richard Bach, the author of the best-selling novel, Jonathan Livingston Seagull. He once wrote something I thought is fitting for today. Don't be dismayed at goodbyes. A goodbye is necessary in order to meet again. And meeting again, after moments or lifetimes, is certain for those who are friends. Thank you, class of 2023. Till we meet again. Once a Norseman, always a Norseman. And now, I am honored to introduce our next speaker, a hardworking student who I've had the pleasure of sharing my last 12 years with, Sam Gallo.
Thank you, Riley. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, faculty, parents, staff, and the graduating class of 2023, it is with great honor that I stand before you, speaking at such a momentous occasion in our lives. I would first like to thank Dr. Babcock, the North Muskegon School Board, Mrs. Schultz, and last but certainly not least, all of you. Each and every one of you Norsemen has touched the heart of someone here today, and I think we deserve to give ourselves a big round of applause. Class, we've come to a fork in the road, a pivotal moment in all of our lives that will spring us into our future, whether we are ready for it or not. The choices that we make from now on will mold us into the people that we are destined to become. You hold the power to make these choices. You hold the power to decide who you want to be and where you want to go. So I pose this question to you all. What will you do with your power? I hope you choose to use your power for good. Merriam-Webster Dictionary defines the word power as follows: the ability to act, to influence, to visualize a bright and beautiful future for yourself and for the world around you, and then to act on that vision. We are called to find our purpose and act on it to the best of our ability with our short time here. As you take this next step into your future, always remember just how powerful you can be and what an influence you are. One of these choices that we get to make is who we spend our time with, our friends. While most of us have seen each other in the same hallways since we were 5 or 6 years old, we still have the choice to choose who we want to hang out with. I'm grateful to have been here long enough to make a connection with all of you in some way. I'm honored to call all of you my friends. You all deserve the great love and support that you have shown me. Choose to spend your time with people who love you for you and support you. This wonderful community has built us up into some pretty amazing young men and women, and anybody who you choose to spend your time with going forward will be very lucky that they met you. Many of you have inspired me with the choice to be open and authentic. I've watched you regroup from injury and illness, retake test after test to master material, step into the unknown by asking somebody to homecoming, try out for a solo in choir, or maybe just raise your hand in class. All of you have shown me what it looks like to make the choice to put yourself out there, be vulnerable, and handle whatever comes your way. As you may have noticed, life is full of choices. Everything that you do, you choose to do. From getting up, going to school or work, eating dinner, you choose to do all of these things. With these choices, you also choose to be accountable for their consequences. Mr. Ripstra has shown me this quality of being accountable firsthand. Junior year basketball season, I'd gotten wisdom tooth surgery and I was out for a couple games and a practice. The next practice that I participated in, I was horrible. It looked like I had my memory wiped of what basketball was and how to play it, and I was atrocious. And Coach Ripstra let me know this, promptly calling me a walking turnover, and subbed me out for a good part of the rest of the practice. Now, I could have chosen to take those words to heart and just give up for the rest of practice, or maybe more, but it was up to me to choose to be accountable for my actions. So, Mr. Ripstra, thank you for teaching me to be accountable by whatever means necessary. A psychologist named Abraham Maslow once said, "One can choose to go back towards safety or forward towards growth. Growth must be chosen again and again, and fear must be overcome again and again." Class, witnessing all of us choose to grow day after day, month after month, and year after year is just one of the many reasons that I am so proud to say that I'm a Norseman. Now, we must choose to choose growth and overcome our fears again and again for the rest of our lives. We all have great power, and it's up to us to choose to use it. Thank you. I'd now like to introduce our next student speaker and a very good friend of mine, Lillian Smith.
Thank you, Sam. What's my advice? What's my most significant memory? Who would I like to thank? How will the class of 2023 make a difference? I thought about all of these questions as I began to write this speech. A lot has happened within our 13 years here at NM. Instead of trying to summarize and answer all of these questions, I picked one. As Ms. Schultz has said many times and mentioned again during our award ceremony, how do we leave it better than we found it? North Muskegon schools have always felt like such a safe place, and I have so many happy memories filled with all the people I've known since kindergarten. In first grade, my biggest concern was whether all of our chicks were going to hatch and what we would name them. In second grade, when it was time for recess, it was all we could do not to sprint through the halls to get the number one spot on the 4 square courts. In third grade, I was worried about a clip. Each day, our clip started on a green sheet of paper and would be moved up to silver and gold or down to yellow or red, depending on our behavior. Though very important at the time, looking back, these stresses seem trivial. I have lived a happy-go-lucky life in North Muskegon, and my biggest worry was whether I would get a swing at recess. I was shielded from the big issues going on around me. In the last few years, my feeling of safety at school has changed. Even though we've been doing lockdown drills for as long as I can remember, the threat of violence always seemed distant. When the Oxford shooting happened, my eyes opened, and that feeling of safety was gone. That following month, I became scared to walk in the halls. I flinched when someone in the hallway opened the door to our classroom. Following the tragedy, I assume that now Michigan will have woken up with me. Now people will realize there's a problem here at home. At least now someone will do something. But I was wrong. A little over a year later, on my way home from a meeting at school, I received a text from my mom that there had been a shooting at Michigan State University, and my cousin was safe, but the shooter was in his building. After many tears and worries that following week, I'd hoped there would be change, but again, I was wrong. These events aren't hundreds of miles or several states away anymore. Our family friends go to Oxford. My cousin's fraternity brother was killed at Michigan State. The tragedy is closing in on us. Out of all the questions I referenced in the beginning, the one I want to answer is about making a difference. The way we can make a difference is by helping other students return to that carefree feeling that I used to have. The feeling of being safe and at home in our schools, where the sound of a door slamming or a desk falling over doesn't make anyone flinch. Freedom from anxiety and worry that someone with a gun is going to walk into their school. I want the biggest worry on the minds of the kids in Uvalde, Texas, to be whether they will get a swing at recess. I want the biggest stress for the kids in Parkland, Florida, to be whether their clothespin is going to be moved up or down. I want the kids in Nashville to be excited about whether their chicks are going to hatch. To the class of 2023, we need to get that feeling back. We have to. Do the officials we elected need to help? Yes. Do we need to vote for what we believe in? Yes. And we also need empathy, compassion, inclusivity, and kindness. This is something we can do now, today, tonight, tomorrow, next week, next year. Be curious about other people and their stories. Listen when someone shares their experience. Give people your full attention. Include the person that seems alone. This is a place to start. Thank you. Now, it is my pleasure to introduce our next speaker, Troy McManus.
Thank you, Lily. Around this time last year, I got a lot of good advice from the class of 2022. I heard that senior year goes by really fast, that it is a ton of fun but also very stressful, and that I should cherish the moments I have with my peers because it will be May before I know it, and I will be saying my goodbyes. I'm not usually the most emotional person, so I brushed off that part of their advice. I figured that as long as I stayed on top of my schoolwork, got my college applications done in plenty of time, and applied for lots of scholarships, I would be in for a smooth senior year. Though I liked my class, I hadn't built many deep relationships. I figured I would be okay to move on. For those who know me pretty well, I am not your typical good student. I routinely rushed into Mr. Jarvis's apes class after the bell rang. I have never used a planner of any sort. By mid-year, I had just that one pencil that I found on the ground in the library. If I don't want to do something, I will leave it to the last possible moment. As you've probably figured out by now, it didn't take long before my plans started to fall apart. To accomplish everything, I sacrificed Friday nights with friends, going out to dinner with my family, and seeing my brother at college. All of these things were second to me getting everything done that I felt I should do. I'm sure many of you can relate to this. We are pushed to be overachievers, competitors, perfectionists, to do everything. Clubs, AP and college classes, work, volunteering, sports, and still, on top of all of this, we try to keep healthy relationships with those close to us. There's always more to do, and we can never do enough. After all, there are a world of problems to fix. How else are we going to prepare ourselves? Climate change, global food shortages, and deficiencies in human rights, education, and opportunity in many parts of the world. Who else is going to solve these problems? When we rest this burden on our shoulders, it can become unbearable. What I had failed to realize for most of the year is that these two ideas, bettering the world around us and strengthening our bonds with friends and family, are not mutually exclusive. You can't address any of those problems I just mentioned by yourself. It takes a community. Even if we don't all have the same vision, we support each other in often minute ways. Just open your eyes for a school day. You will see a principal that greets you at the door and makes you feel seen. A group of peers who share the same passion as you for service. Your teammates who are there for you whenever you have a problem. A Norse United buddy who reminds you not to take things too seriously. Or your parents who are there to review your essay or graduation speech for you. And so much more. You can't ignore these things. They are crucial to everything that we do. So I have taken the last few weeks to reflect on what makes me happy and what I am passionate about, and I urge all of you to do the same. Which parts of the day are your favorite? What do you like to do, and what do you feel like you have to do? What I have found, and what I believe that most of you will find as well, is that you find the most genuine happiness when you spend time with people you care about, making the world around you a better place. Although graduation may seem like a finish line, it is just a turning point in our journeys. It is a time to reflect on our experiences and prepare for what's next. What comes to mind when I consider this topic is something that Miss B said before CPR training earlier this month. We were discussing our next steps, where we planned on going to college, and what majors we were considering. When someone said that they weren't sure of their path yet, she smiled and said that, of course, it's okay not to have everything figured out. I like playing games all day, she said. We laughed. So I became a PE teacher, and I ended up doing it for over 40 years. In doing so, she left all of us with happy memories of playing our favorite games together, and lessons on how to respect our teammates, opponents, and rules of the game that translate to everything else we tackle in our lives. You can make a difference by doing what you like, regardless of how big or small it might seem. Your actions mean more to others than you will ever know. It will only get harder from here. So, cherish your bonds with the people around you and the memories you make together. Do what you are passionate about, and find others who support you on your journey. And if you ever feel lonely, know that there's a loving North Muskegon community waiting for you back home. Thank you to the North Muskegon teachers, parents, and alumni for instilling these life lessons in me, and thank you to the class of 2023 for all of our memories together.
Can we please give another round of applause for our amazing student speakers? Class of 2023, you have left a legacy. Your impact has been positive and great. It has been a gift for us to see you over the years, volunteering, mentoring, leading with kindness, demonstrating good sportsmanship, modeling positive behaviors. The question I want to pose to you now is this: what will your legacy be once you leave North Muskegon? How will you show up Whatever your plans are after graduation, you are going off into the world, and you have an opportunity to make an impact. Questions to ponder, asked by one of my favorite songs, and don't worry, I'm not going to sing it. How they remember you. Will you stand or will you fall? Build a bridge or build a wall? Hide your love or give it all? Did you make them laugh or make them cry? Did you quit or did you try? Live your dreams or let them die? What did you do? Oh, when it all comes down, it ain't if, but it's how they remember you. Class of 2023, we will remember you. We will remember the memories and the great times. I'll be walking down those halls in the elementary school, in the middle school, in the high school. And now it's your time to go out and to leave a greater impact, your legacy, in this great big world. Keeping NM close to your heart, reminding yourself what it means to fight like a Norseman, to build a community like only this village can, and to help others along the way. I have no doubt that each and every one of you is going to leave it better than you found it. Because you, every one of you has left us better. Thank you, 2023. Senior choir members, you may now join your choir, and we are going to enjoy our Norse singers under the direction of Mrs. Bess Limco as they perform the traditional Friends.
Keep you whole. lifetime's not too long to live as friends. Friends are friends forever, and the Lord's the Lord of them. Friends will not say never, 'cause the welcome will not end. Though it's hard to let you go, in the Father's hands we know that a lifetime's not too long to live as friends. No, a lifetime's not too long to live as friends.
Thank you, North Singers and Mrs. Slimko. As we transition into the next portion of tonight's program, we are reminding our audience that this is a formal ceremony and respectfully request that all of our audience members congratulate each graduate with the traditional Norse clap. This will allow each graduate to be recognized and for all supporters to be able to hear each name. At the end, we will do a group congratulations applause together. As the principal of North Muskegon High School, it is my honor to certify that each of the members of the class of 2023 receiving their diploma tonight have met the graduation requirements of the North Muskegon Board of Education and the Michigan Department of Education. We will now present diplomas to the class of 2023 graduating members. Reading the graduates' names this year is Senior Executive President Riley McAvoy.
Dennis Trammell Belmonte. Lillian June Smith. John Michael Caliendo. Natalie Ann Panucci. Jordan Mackay Washington. Catherine Lynn Hedges. Tatum Renee Lynn. Gabriel Martin Lenius. Eva Catherine Walsh. Elijah James Rudiso. Dylan James Rudiso. Ava Renee Butso. Chase Leon Keel. Jasmine Doretta Rotman. Taja Marie Botvile. Jackson Ellery Earn. Anna Rose Toby. Samuel George Gallo. Troy David McManus. Second row, you can rise. Anna Michelle Basso Dick. Isabella Rose Picard. Pierce Luke Marzak. Parker Paul Majeski. Luke Benjamin Peterson. Kyle Andrew Huff. Francine Louise Vinson. Benjamin Robert Hoffer. Madeline Elizabeth Hibbard. John Bruce Davis. Christopher William Corbett. Grace Lorene Buckmiller. Brandon Michael Ripstra. August Grace Carafel. Brandon James Winter. Alexia Jade Lopez. Jack David Casey. Logan Scott Tyson. Jocelyn Murray Bogner. Alicia Nicole Oviedo. Garrett Grant Galdine. Ella Marie Tarrant. Emmeline Page St. Germain. Jude Charles Meldrum Roy. Lindsay Marie Bierman. George Robert West Jr. Bradley Stewart Windsor Lowe. Taya Brianna Scraver. Mia Ileana Valderrama Garcia. Lainey Alexa Weatherby. Caitlin Renee Smith. Dana Lavelle Taylor.
We did it, Joe.
Macy Lee Lasser. Xavier Nicholas Roberts. Lucas David Metz. Lillian Faye Atkinson Miller. Jacob Anthony Kottner. Luca Rosalise Dad. Kelsey Michelle Adamzak. Seth Martin Poulin.
Oh, yeah!
Third row, you may sit. Fourth row, rise. Carson James Moat. Noah Carl Cobb. Emma Runa Critchbaum. Anna Noel Beetham. Stine Hansen. Jackson Connor Allen Fuller. Yetha Yamas. Alexandra Josephine Lovchek. Jaylee Sue Schultz. Christian James Lopez. Grayson Thomas Hinton. Ava Elizabeth Secady. Lucy Jane Fricky. William Anthony Ripple. Vinicio Ramon Smith. Samantha K. Johnson. Spencer Catherine Cree. Lydia Ann Lee Cardy. Tyler Lawrence Lindell. Allison Mary Snocky. Georgia Jeanette Scoogens. Carolyn Elizabeth Bennett. Jackson Conrad Wiles. Jakari Otis Craig Edwards.
Yes, sir! Yes, sir!
It is now my privilege to announce our final graduate, Executive Class President, Riley McAvoy. And now, Riley, you want to stay right up here? Oh, you're right. And now Riley will lead her class in the symbolic changing of the tassel.
1, 2, 3. We did it! Thank you.
Yep. As Superintendent of Schools, I am pleased to accept the certification of requirements and recognize the class of 2023 as duly prepared to receive their diplomas for graduation from North Muskegon High School. Mr. Will Meyer, Board of Education President, and members of the North Muskegon Public Schools Board of Education, it is with great pleasure and pride that I accept this class, the senior class of 2023, as having completed all necessary requirements for graduation and do now officially pronounce them the newest alumni of North Muskegon High School. Congratulations, class of 2023. And Bradley, can you ring that bell?
Where'd all the time go? Starting to fly. See how the hands go, waving goodbye. No, I get so forgetful when I look in your eyes. Now she's walking backward through a parade, and I'm stuck in the shadow, blocking the shade. There ain't no way to sweep up the mess that we made. She gets dressed up like a pillow, so she's always in bed. Flowers for the city.
Families, thank you for coming. You are free to come down on the field and get pictures with your graduate and celebrate. Thank you so much for coming out tonight. Congratulations, class of 2023.
There's nothing to keep you from falling in love.
job, John.